items you will be needing to install an insulin pump are a syringe, a needle or cartridge, an insertion port, gauze, some alcohol pads, and insulin of course. Some optional items may include an oil-based wipe and a device that helps release the cartridge from the pump. The first step is to clean your insulin bottle. This doesn't have to be thorough, it just needs to be clean. The second step is to take your syringe, your needle, and your cartridge and make sure to open them before you start preparing your syringe. Once you've taken the syringe out of its packaging, simply screw the syringe onto the needle like so. Before drawing insulin out, I like to take a little bit of air in the syringe. A tip I learned is not to draw back so much air, otherwise it's a little hard to get air bubbles out. But as you can see here, I'm simply pushing the air in to the bottle, and then I'm drawing the desired amount I want. I usually like 2, it really depends on the person. I also had to get a new bottle of insulin because I had run out. That's okay, just do the same steps. Push the air in and draw back the desired amount. I'm not sure if you're able to see, but where I'm pointing, there is a little bit of an air bubble. If you have one, that's okay, you still have to pull air out of the cartridge. Finally, you can take your cartridge out of its packaging and then take your needle and poke it until you feel hard stop into the white circle. Once you feel hard stop, start pulling at the end of the syringe until you see bubbles. Once you've gone all the way, pull upwards while holding at the end of the syringe. Then you can start taking out all the air bubbles. As you can see, one way I'm doing it is I'm pushing all the air up. Another way to get all the air bubbles out is to put your needle back into the insulin bottle. Your main objective is to get all the air bubbles out before re-injecting it into the cartridge. Get out any last air bubbles. Once you don't see any, you're ready to inject it into the cartridge. Now take your needle and poke it into the white circle of the cartridge. Once you feel a hard stop, start injecting the insulin into the cartridge. Again, pull upwards when finished. Now you're done with your needle. Make sure you put that in your sharps box. Now take your pump and press the load. Then press the change cartridge. You'll then be prompted to stop all the deliveries. Then make sure to disconnect, like I have. Remember that little piece I showed you that would help remove the cartridge from the pump? This is where you use it. You simply put it into the groove of the pump and twist it. This should help the cartridge slide upwards. Make sure you put the old cartridge away so you don't mix it up with the new cartridge. Then take the new cartridge, slide it into the pump until you hear a click. Now press the unlock button and then press the check box. While you're waiting for that to fully load, unpackage your tubing. Something I would like to mention is it's probably best to change your pump before you go to bed. If your pump for some reason doesn't work, it's a pain to wake up in the middle of your sleep. When you're unraveling the tubing, make sure you don't unravel it all the way. You still want to make sure that the port's still in place. Then press OK and screw the tubing onto the cartridge until it's finger tight. You don't want to make sure it's too tight. Then I like to take this blue piece off the cannula. Just making sure it's finger tight. I press start while holding the pump upwards, making sure I get any last air bubbles out. Filling the tube usually takes about 12 units, so when it gets close to there, make sure you see little bubbles of insulin coming out of the needle. At a point, you won't be needing to hold the pump upwards anymore, so you can lay it flat. I'm not sure if you can see, but we are slowly nearing 12 units. Once you see bubbles coming out of the cannula, you can press stop. I can even show you the tiny bubbles that came out. I've actually had an experience where bubbles weren't coming out and it was over 12 units. At that point, I had changed everything because I knew something was wrong. When you see that it's downloading, you can press done. Congratulations, you've successfully changed your cartridge and filled the tubing with insulin on the Tandem T-Slim Insulin Pump. Now you're ready to put it onto your body. When taking the pump off, I usually like to have my dad help me. What we're doing right now is we're taking the oil-based wipe and slowly peeling the port off. Then we like to take the same oil-based wipe and go over the area, making sure we get any excess glue off. What we like to do is we like to take gauze and go over the oily area, ensuring to get any glue pieces off. After taking the port off, it can be a little itchy. Something that can help with that is putting a cream on top of it. But what we like to do is we like to take an alcohol pad and go over it. Now you can turn to the other side and we can try to find a spot. Something that helps me is I have a tan line for my swimsuit, so I like to go in front of that, and we're trying to find my crest to go above that. You also want to avoid going near any bruises. Once you like where you want to put it, clean that area. It's best to go in circular motions. Now that you've cleaned the area, you're ready to put the port on. What you're first going to do is you're going to peel the sticker off in circular motions. Now find a white piece behind the port and pull back on it while holding onto the grooved areas of the insertion device. You should be able to hold it just like this without it bouncing back. Before placing the insertion device onto my body, we like to make sure the tubing is behind me. We then feel my crest once again and squeeze the insertion device to make sure we inject the needle and place the port onto my body. To make sure the port is intact, we like to rub the sticker around it 2 to 3 times. Congratulations, now you've attached the port onto your body. As you can see here, the change cartridge and filled tubing check marks aren't green as they should be. This is because I had accidentally pressed a check mark at the top right hand corner when I wasn't filming. But that's okay, you can still press the fill cannula button, but for me it'll prompt me to stop all the deliveries again. You're then going to press start to fill the cannula. For me it's set at 0.7 units. You can change that if you'd like. You're then going to press a check mark to remind you to change your pump in 3 days. And then you'll press another checkbox to resume all the deliveries.